Hello friends, it's me, Jo Flores, and I just wanted to give you a quick introduction to zones in a permaculture system. And the best way for me to do that is to take you on a mini tour of my site where I live and discuss how and why I placed different components in different zones in my permaculture system, and hopefully that will give you a basic understanding of the concept, and then I'll also get to show off my garden. So the first thing is zone 1. So zone 1, or zones 0 to 1, are yourself, where you hang out every day, where you prepare your food, where you sleep, where you work on your personal stuff, and where you grow your vegetables. Places that you visit every single day. So for us, that's right outside the front door. We've got our little vegetable garden here. And that is the basics of zone 1. It's your emotions, your relationships, your shelter, your clothing, all of your basic human needs are zones 0 to 1. So zones 1 to 2, so there's overlap here. There's not really distinct lines. That includes your bathhouse and your napping area and your workspace, if you don't work every single day, or your immediate family that you interact with, and your daily practice, your yoga and maybe your walking areas. So zones 1 to 2, maybe that's where you would keep the chickens. These are places that you were really in a lot of the time. So once you get into the zone 2 to 3 area, now you're getting into more places that you visit a couple of times a week. Maybe there's fruit trees and vegetables that don't get harvested as often in our area. In our 2 to 3 area, we have a little napping zone where we have a hammock and a place to read, and we have a couple of hammocks up in our site, and we don't use them every single day, but we do hammock often. So that's why they're not right next to the house, but rather out in the garden. And that also helps to draw you out into the garden. So you can sometimes place components in an area as an anchor to draw you out there. And that's what we've done, like, for example, with our compost, which would maybe realistically be in zone 1 because we go there every day, but we want it to draw us down to the bottom of the garden, so we put it down there. So then you get into zones 3 to 4, and these are places that you don't visit as often, maybe every couple of weeks, maybe once a week. And if you live in an urban area, as you can see, then that's going to include places like the library, social areas, maybe the local coffee shop, etc. Whereas if you live in a rural environment, then you're going to have more space around you for things like water catchment, ponds, storage, tools, firewood. So it's all site specific. It depends on you and your lifestyle and what you need in your specific zones. For us, our zones 3 to 4 look like this. So we live in a rural area, but we have a very small site, just a quarter acre or 1/10 of a hectare if you're European. And so our zones 3 to 4 are still relatively close to the house, but that's where we have flower gardens, things like comfrey, culinary herbs, and longer term vegetables, biennials, things that we just don't harvest as often, or things that we only harvest once a year. So you can see where this is about as far away as you get from our house into our zones 3 to 4. We don't really have a zone 5. We live by the river, so that's where we go for nature, big nature, and wild adventure. And we try to be mindful of that area and do things like pick up trash or harvest seed and attempt to propagate them. And that's how we connect with our outer zones in our area, because we live on such a small site. For you, zones 4 to 5 might look different. And so here I am circling back up towards my zones 1 and 2. You can see we've converted our outdoor barbecue chimenea, which came built into the house. We converted that into a little potting shed because we don't really do the outdoor barbecuing. And there's my Lola, and she likes to hang out in zones 1 and 2. So here we are coming back into zone 1. This is mainly where we live, on this beautiful little south-facing patio. It's a covered zone, so it stays warm all summer and all winter. And that's an overview. And this is just a quick look at what our zone map looks like from overhead. It's just a quick sketch. And I downloaded the map from Google Maps and just did a real quick overview of where we're at now and how we're using our site. And I expect this to be really useful information in the future as I continue to improve and evolve my designs. So that's it for our basic introduction, and I really appreciate spending your time here with us and coming on a tour of my house and garden, and I will look forward to interacting with you in the group as we discuss more about zones in a permaculture system. Meanwhile, if you haven't already enrolled, check us out at www.freepermaculture.com, where we're offering a free/by donation year-long permaculture course that is packed full of original content and amazing information from teachers all over the world. So we look forward to seeing you there. Take care.